Hi folks, Lee here and welcome back to the channel. Got another wee flying video today. I just done my second solo cross country earlier on this morning to Bute from Strathaven. So the first thing you're probably noticing is you're not hearing any noise, and there's a kind of silly reason for that. Originally I thought like, oh, this camera, it's crap, it's cheap and it's not really working properly. But then while doing this, I rummage around in the settings, and there's a setting that you can toggle recording audio or not, and somehow in the process of me using this camera, I've managed to turn the audio recording off at some point, which I don't know how that's happened, but like this particular phase of my flight training and navigation is something I've been finding quite challenging. So really, the whole recording videos thing is sort of kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. So she just saw me pass over West Kilbride and Hunterston there. You have to go over Hunterston above 2,000 feet because below 2,000 feet there's an exclusion zone about a mile around it, which kind of extends to just over Little Cumbria, which we also passed over there. And in fact, that's the second. That comes to the second kind of disappointment with this video, which is that it ran out of memory card space. It took about just over an hour and a half overall this flight, so about nearly half an hour the way there, just over half an hour the way back, and then you're also messing about in circuits and stuff like that. And then I had a wee breather for about 10 minutes on the ground in Bute, which you'll see a little bit of later on. So so basically what happened is it ran out of memory card space, and unfortunately it's one of those annoying ones where once the memory card's full, it starts deleting the earliest stuff, which is a little annoying, but it means that we missed the takeoff and that. So it's basically I'm just clipping out kind of like the best bits of the flight at this point. So for some reason it didn't record a bit of the way back as well. I don't know how. As I said, it's a camera that's relatively cheap, so who knows. But anyway, back to the flight. So this here, we're above Bute Airfield. I just pointed it out there. It's the kind of browny green field under there. It kind of looks a bit like a number one if you're looking at it from the right angle. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm passing over the airfield in order to do what's called an overhead join. So I've came in at about 2,000 feet above the airfield, and now I'm beginning to descend on what's called the dead side. So the side that I'm on just now is to the south, and in this particular airfield the circuits run to the north. So the south is called the dead side and the north is called the live side. So what I'm doing just now, I'm descending from 2,000 feet to 1,000 feet, and what I'm planning to do is slot in what's called the crosswind leg. So I'm going to be coming over the airfield and just slotting in at this crosswind leg at 1,000 feet, and that's the leg that you would go if you were taking off, and then your first turn is the crosswind leg. So just descending just now, and I'm gonna be leveling off just about there, yeah. And that's me now in the Bute circuit. So now I'm making this next turn, so that's the downwind leg. And the idea is that I'm going to go around here and then going to be coming over the water a little bit for my base turn, and then finally I'm going to be turning to my final, where I'm doing my final approach and then landing. So there's a lot going on. The circuit is actually what I spent most of the previous time doing before the navigation phase. It's pretty easily the longest part of flight training for most people. You saw some of the circuit in the other videos, the other video that I made with this camera, and one of the kind of minor criticisms I got from the other video was that I didn't go into enough detail about what was going on. And I've put a warning in this video as well as the previous one to say that this isn't, this is not for educational purposes in any way. It's for entertainment purposes only. It's literally just me making a couple of videos of my flights. I'm probably making mistakes from time to time. And, as I said, I'm a student pilot, so it's literally just a wee couple of videos that I'm making to kind of keep as a kind of reminder of those kind of early solo flights. So this is our final approach. As you can see, it's quite a big, wide runway. It's about more or less the same length as the one at Strathaven, I believe. So, but it's a lot wider, so it's actually quite good. And that's me doing my final approach, hold off, and yeah, a good touchdown, a good landing, and then I'm gonna taxi off into the kind of the little bit just behind us where we can sit for a little while. There's a couple of benches and that as well. I won't be using those, but it allows me to kind of get a wee 10 minutes on the ground before I head back to Strathaven. And so yeah, and in a little bit you'll see me as well. Yeah, so just backtracking the runway just now. Now again, the thing with this is because it's so next to so close to the sea, you get the effects of sea breeze as well. So sometimes the wind will be going the opposite direction of the runway at Strathaven, or a runway nearby that you were taking off from. So again, that's something you need to watch. But fortunately today it was the same runway, and that's another purpose of the overhead join, is it lets you assess what's going on at the airfield that you're going to, basically. So you're looking out for stuff like the wind, other aircraft that might be on the runway, that might be flying about in the circuit at that time. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's certainly been a process learning it all. And that's me just doing my mag checks, and then I'm pulling the power back and just gonna do it again. You can never be too sure. And then I pull the power back and switch the mags off, and then we just sit there for 10 minutes, yeah, get out and walk about a little bit, which will just be coming up just now. Well, that's me here, Bute Airstrip. As you can see, there's Golf Victor Alpha behind me. So yeah, it's a beautiful wee place actually, it's really nice. It's quite an ideal wee place, just as a kind of, maybe like a first getaway. I've been to another place before, I've been to Stonehill, but this one here is I'd say it was a bit more picturesque. Stonehill's pretty nice as well actually, but here you're going to be benches there, so you could, bring bring someone here with some tea, just kind of hang around for a wee while and then go. And then there's also a couple of wee walking trails up that way, so yeah, it's a really nice wee strip, nice and wide, as you'll probably see from this. So not too difficult to land on, quite forgiving, might you say. But yeah, I can't believe I've done that actually. That's my second solo cross country. Once I get back. So aye, over there. So yeah, it's really nice. So aye, I best be getting back then. So after a wee 10-minute breather and another cross-country landaway bagged, it was time to go home to Strathaven. So this is me just taxiing to hold and to look out for other aircraft before going onto the runway. And this time I choose to get on the runway and just throttle up immediately and go. And since the direction we're going is kind of not exactly where the runway is going, but kind of just a little bit off, so we don't. But I'm not bothering with circuits or anything like that. I just announced my intent to immediately depart, and I just go. So yeah. So you probably saw for the route plan. On the way here, we flew from Strathaven over Kilmarnock and then turned towards a track that basically took us over Colwynnon and then Hunterston with West Kilbride just out of our left hand window as well. And then kind of just over Little Cumbria and then onto Bute. So, what's the purpose of this navigation exercise thing? So, really, in the modern day, you've got apps and GPS and all of that stuff that you can use, but it is important that you also know how to use the chart. So, that's kind of the purpose of this exercise. You have to do at least 2 cross countries, although it looks like I'm going to do 3. Because we're planning, me and my instructor are planning to go to Kirkbride in the Lake District, so we're going to do that as a dual flight first, and then that'll probably be my last solo cross country after that, so I'm really looking forward to that. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be recording that one, but I'll try my best. I just need to see how it goes. I'm quite disappointed and a bit let down by how this one went, but I've kind of tried to piece together the video the best I can, really. So, I'm relatively okay with that. So, yeah. So, as always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is there anything more you'd like to know about this whole flying thing that I'm doing? And of course, if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, then please do subscribe. Bye, folks.